The Silent Ward. Part 2. James awoke to a suffocating darkness, the air thick with the stench of decay. His head throbbed, and as he tried to move, he realized he was strapped to a cold, metal gurney. Panic surged through him. The last thing he remembered was entering room 505. A faint, rhythmic dripping echoed in the distance. As his eyes adjusted, he discerned shadowy figures lining the walls, patients, in various states of distress. Their eyes hollow, their mouths agape in silent screams. Suddenly, a door creaked open, and a tall figure in a tattered nurse's uniform stepped in. Her face was obscured by a veil, but her eyes gleamed with a malevolent light. She approached James, her movements unnaturally jerky, and whispered, "Welcome to the Forgotten Ward." Desperate, James struggled against his restraints. "Please, let me go," he pleaded. The nurse tilted her head as if contemplating his request, then leaned closer. "You opened the door. Now you must pay the price." Without warning, she plunged a syringe into his arm. A burning sensation spread through his veins, and the room began to warp and twist. The walls pulsed like living flesh, and the distant dripping grew louder, morphing into a cacophony of tormented wails. Visions assaulted him, the old man from his room, the blood-soaked woman, and countless others. All victims of the cursed room 505, he saw their final moments, each more horrifying than the last. As the hallucinations intensified, a realization dawned upon James. Room 505 wasn't just a room. It was a gateway, a portal to a realm of suffering, feeding off the souls of the curious and the damned, summoning every ounce of strength. James focused on the faintest glimmer of light in the distance. He willed himself toward it, the anguished faces of the trapped souls urging him on. With a final, desperate push, he broke free from the nightmarish realm and found himself back in the hospital corridor, gasping for air. The door to room 505 stood ajar behind him, but the horrors within were now silent. James didn't wait. He fled the hospital, vowing never to return. But as he stepped into the cool night air, a chilling whisper echoed in his mind, "The door remains open." And deep within St. Mercy Hospital, in the shadows of room 505, the darkness stirred, awaiting its next victim.
Spawnpointstories.